The TQ Samson bulk carrier leaves the Ukrainian port of Odessa carrying rapeseed and corn in what could be the last grain shipment from the port under the current Black Sea Grain Initiative. The deal was first brokered by Turkey and the United Nations a year ago to safely allow the export of Ukrainian grain products during the war, particularly to poorer countries, although almost half has been shipped to rich nations. The grain deal was twice extended by Russia this year, but now expires on Monday. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says he hopes efforts with the UN will convince Russia to keep the corridor open. The Kremlin says President Vladimir Putin is waiting on a commitment to remove sanctions against the export of Russian foods, even though Russian grain exports have risen sharply since the 2022 invasion of Ukraine.
He will use whatever is available to him, whether it is military, political, or economic, to extort Ukraine, to extort the West.
Inland on the front lines, the battles rage as Ukraine makes slow gains in its counteroffensive. It has now controversially received US cluster munitions, banned by many countries, including Canada. In a newly released segment from an interview with Russian state TV, Putin said Russia has plenty of its own cluster munitions. He claimed Russia has not used them yet, but will do so if Ukraine does. Their use by both countries in the war has been widely documented.
Not only have the Russians used these cluster bombs extensively, but what is called the dud rate, that is the number of these that do not explode, is extraordinarily high by Western standards.
Left unexploded, those can injure civilians long after a war. Footage from earlier in the invasion shows the apparent use of cluster bombs in civilian areas attacked by Russia. Redmond Shannon, Global News, London.